as you know, on Sunday, or on Saturday, the hog's ass in the White House got taken to Walter Reed Hospital. And his visit, even though he lies about everything, so he says it was just an early part of his physical, which is a lie. Everything Trump says is a lie. So nobody knows why he went. But here's what we do know. His visit to Walter Reed did not follow the normal, routine protocol at that hospital when a president shows up for all or part of a medical exam. Medical staff at Walter Reed, according to CNN, did not get any sort of a notice about a presidential visit to the medical center, which is in Bethesda, Maryland, ahead of Trump's arrival, according to a couple sources that talked to CNN. Now, the way this is supposed to work, typically the staff at Walter Reed will get a staff-wide notice about a VIP visit to the medical center ahead of a presidential visit, notifying them that certain parts of the facility are going to be closed. You know, it's the President of the United States. Some crazy son of a bitch in there for an appendectomy may rip out his tubes and everything and take his bottle of, or his bag of glucose and try to attack Trump. You never know, right? So normally they let the staff know what parts of the hospital are going to be closed so that this very important president can show up for whatever. That didn't happen this time, which is the clearest indication this was a non-routine visit and was scheduled, if that's the right word, at the last possible minute. Now, the source who talked to CNN said it was possible a small group of doctors involved in Trump's medical exams were notified, but all medical staff at Walter Reed would typically be aware if a president was arriving for routine or not routine exam. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's the President of the United States, even though in this case, it's this horrible goddamn Donald Trump. Anyway, according to CNN, the president's motorcade drove to the medical center unannounced with reporters under direction not to report his movement until they arrived Saturday at Walter Reed. Trump typically takes one of the helicopters, Marine One, to Walter Reed. But on Saturday, and it was perfectly blue sky, he decided he wanted to go in the motorcade. A separate source familiar with the situation described Trump's visit as abnormal. But then listen to what this nasty bitch, Stephanie Grisham, who is the acting or the real press secretary, when CNN requested a comment on Sunday, the bitch said this, quote, "We're not going to get into security and movement protocols when it comes to the president. But as my statement said, he's in good health, and it was a routine checkup as part of his annual physical. I've given plenty of on-the-record statements that were truthful and accurate. Actively trying to find and report conspiracy theories really needs to stop." Oh, fuck you. I mean, she had to add that part, right? I've given plenty of on-the-record statements that were truthful and accurate. No, you haven't. You lying bitch. No, you haven't. I'm trying to think of one. You're a paid liar. What you are is a verbal prostitute. That's what you are. So sit down and shut the fuck up, Stephanie. Jesus. She said yesterday that Trump decided to get parts of his physical early because he had, quote, a free weekend, end quote, in Washington. What? Every fucking minute he's in Washington is free. He didn't do anything. He watches Fox and tweets. A free weekend. But she refused to respond to questions about why Trump didn't go ahead and get his full exam, which usually takes about 4 hours for this obese golem. Grisham also denied the president had any health issues. Grisham lied and said that on Saturday, the thug underwent, quote, a quick exam in labs, end quote. Trump tweeted then Sunday morning that he doesn't plan to finish his physical until next year. At last February's physical exam, Trump weighed 246 pounds, 4 pounds more than last year when he was told to take weight off. Last year's exam revealed Trump has a common form of heart disease and high cholesterol. The White House physician at the time, the one that Trump tried to make the Surgeon General, remember him, Ronnie Jackson? Hey, Ronnie, what's up? Ronnie Jackson recommended that Trump get on a diet, start exercising, and set a goal of losing 12 pounds. Now, Dr. Ronnie also revealed back then that Trump underwent a coronary calcium CAT scan as part of his routine physical exam. And Trump's score on that was recorded at 133. Sanjay Gupta at CNN noted, Dr. Sanjay Gupta noted at the time that anything over 100 indicates plaque is present in the carotid or the coronary arteries, and that the patient has heart disease. So last year it was 133, and all Trump has done is increased his cheeseburger intake. You can tell that by looking at this gross bastard. So if he has a score of 133 and anything over 100 indicates heart disease, this could turn out to be good news. Yes, indeed. Now, Chris Cillizza at CNN writes why you can't trust the White House on Donald Trump's health. He writes, President Trump, according to the White House, made an unscheduled trip to Walter Reed for a quick exam in labs on Saturday as the first stage of his annual physical. You shouldn't just believe them. Which is not to say that whatever happened on Saturday wasn't minor or maybe even routine. What it is to say is that this is a president and a White House who have set a standard of dishonesty and obfuscation, up to and including Trump's health, that should force any rational person to question the explanation currently being offered by the White House. Fingers crossed. Remember what we already know about Trump's health. He's 73 years old. In his most recent physical, conducted back in February, he clocked in at 243 pounds. In his previous physical, conducted in 2018, Trump had been diagnosed with a common form of heart disease and high cholesterol. And according to Dr. Sanjay Gupta, Trump's heart disease meant that Trump had a moderate risk of a heart attack in the following 3 to 5 years, according to the guidance set out by the Mayo Clinic. So that was 2 years ago. At the time of his 2018 physical, Dr. Ronnie Jackson suggested that Trump change his diet and get on a regular exercise regimen. Yeah, okay. Let's see, what else here? Chris Cillizza writes, now consider what we know about Trump's visit to Walter Reed on Saturday. It was unscheduled. Unlike his past physicals, it was not on his public schedule. It was not announced to reporters. The medical staff did not get a heads up that a VIP guest was coming, as they typically would. White House press bitch Stephanie Grisham said the trip was simply Trump getting a jump on his annual physical. So Cillizza writes, so there's reason, lots of it, to wonder, especially when you consider that Trump has shown little hesitation to doctor's reports in the past. In December 2015, shortly before voting in the Republican primary, Trump released a letter from his longtime physician, Dr. Harold Bornstein. Bornstein wrote of Trump, quote, "His physical strength and stamina are extraordinary. If elected, Mr. Trump, I can state unequivocally, will be the healthiest individual ever elected to the presidency," end quote. No, I'm sorry. You lying son of a bitch. Even doctors around Trump get sucked into that poisonous vortex of this evil prick, and they will lie. Doctors lying about health. Now, what this doctor could have said, hey, it's nobody's business. If Trump wants to let everybody know what his physical exam results are, let him say. But no, that's not what happened. No, Dr. Bornstein said, he'll be the healthiest individual ever elected to the presidency. Okay. If it seemed like Trump had written the letter himself, it's because he had. Dr. Bornstein told CNN a year later, 3 years later, that Trump, quote, dictated that whole letter. I didn't write that letter. I just made it up as I went along, end quote. Well, then, fucker, you should lose your medical license. You really should. Pull this son of a bitch's license. He's putting out false medical advice about somebody who stole the presidency. And now he admits it. He said, I didn't, that's not me. I just said what Trump told me to say. I wonder how Bornstein's patients feel about that statement. Oh, never mind. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to the ranting with the audio podcast or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.